Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, the wind howling like it just stubbed its toe, the ocean below growling like a hangry lion, and your heart doing backflips in your chest. Sounds like a scene from an action movie starring The Rock, right? For Kirk Passmore, it was just another casual morning. Coffee, wetsuit, and a date with a tsunami-sized tantrum. While most of us panic over a 3-foot wave at the community pool, Kirk looked at a 30-foot liquid skyscraper and thought, "Looks fun, let's dance." But on November 13, 2013, the ocean RSVP'd with a plot twist. The man behind the surfboard. Born on February 11, 1981, in the landlocked city of Orem, Utah, where the only waves come from friendly neighbors, Kirk Passmore was, quite literally, a fish out of water. But like a salmon with a surfboard, he was destined to find his way to the sea. By the time he was a teenager, Kirk had relocated to Carlsbad, California, a place where surfboards outnumber lawn chairs. He quickly made a splash on the Carlsbad High School surf team, not just riding waves, but practically romancing them. Surfing wasn't just a sport for him, it was a spiritual calling, like yoga, but with more adrenaline and less stretchy pants. His obsession took him to legendary breaks like Waimea Bay, where waves grow as tall as 2-story buildings, and Pipeline, where even veteran surfers occasionally rethink their life choices mid-barrel. But Kirk didn't flinch. He thrived in chaos. He even turned his wave-chasing dreams into business reality, co-founding Third Stone Surfboards in Waialua, Hawaii. He wasn't just riding boards, he was building them, crafting fiberglass poetry for those who shared his saltwater addiction. If you ever met Kirk, you'd know. He didn't just surf, he lived surf. Alligator Rock, where legends are made. Alligator Rock might sound like a cozy Florida retirement community for reptiles, but don't let the name fool you. There are no gators, just waves with serious attitude. Tucked along Oahu's north shore, this break is infamous for dishing out watery smackdowns to even the most experienced surfers. It's the kind of spot where the ocean doesn't whisper, it yells, throws furniture, and dares you to step outside. On the morning of November 13, 2013, Mother Nature wasn't in a cuddly mood. The waves were towering 20 to 25 feet high, basically liquid skyscrapers, and each one looked like it had just finished leg day. While most people would have sprinted the other way, or at least grabbed a donut and spectated from land, Kirk Passmore was waxing his board with a grin. Alongside a group of fellow big-wave gladiators, he paddled out, not to flirt with the surf, but to tackle it head-on. This wasn't just surfing. This was a full-blown aquatic battle, and Kirk was suiting up like a knight heading into dragon territory. The final ride. At around 11:20 a.m., with the sun glaring like a spotlight and the ocean humming with energy, Kirk spotted the wave, a monstrous roaring beauty straight out of a Poseidon fever dream. He paddled hard, committed, and dropped in like a man on a mission. But just as he began his descent, disaster struck. His outside rail caught the water, a tiny miscalculation that spelled instant chaos. In an instant, the board bucked him like a wild bull, launching him headfirst into the liquid fury. Eyewitnesses watched in horror as Kirk's legs shot skyward for a brief second, like a pair of upside-down exclamation points, before the ocean slammed the door shut with a thunderous second wave. It was the kind of wipeout that makes your stomach drop, even from the safety of the shore. Rescue crews on jet skis raced into the impact zone, zigzagging through walls of water, calling his name, scanning every surface bubble. But Kirk was gone. His surfboard later washed up near Chun's Reef, damaged but eerily intact, like a message in a bottle without the message. The sea had taken him just like that, leaving behind only silence and salt. The search and the theories. The search for Kirk Passmore kicked off like a full-scale oceanic manhunt. Within minutes, the U.S. Coast Guard had helicopters slicing through the salty air and cutters combing the deep blue like bloodhounds with radar. Local lifeguards, those fearless heroes in board shorts, launched jet skis and scoured the churning shoreline with eyes sharp enough to spot a sand flea doing yoga. But the ocean, ever the cryptic storyteller, wasn't in a sharing mood. Rumors swirled faster than a toilet flush in a typhoon. Some believed Kirk might have burst an eardrum during his brutal wipeout, a condition that can scramble your balance like eggs on a Sunday morning. Disoriented and without a flotation vest, something even seasoned surfers now consider standard, he may have been dragged down by the North Shore's notorious undertow, a liquid conveyor belt straight to the abyss. Experts pointed out that in swells that size, even the strongest swimmers are like paper dolls in a washing machine. Days turned into weeks, but the sea held its silence, guarding its secret like a pirate with a chest of sunken gold. A community mourns. In the world of surfing, community runs deeper than the ocean trench. It's not just about sharing waves, it's about sharing life, wipeouts, wax, and the occasional burrito. So when Kirk Passmore disappeared, the shock hit the surf tribe like a rogue set, unexpected and brutal. Surfers from Hawaii to the mainland came together in one of the sport's most sacred rituals, the paddle out. Dozens formed a giant floating circle, hand in hand, boards bobbing gently as flowers were scattered and tears mixed with seawater. It was a funeral unlike any other. No black suits, just board shorts, sunburns, and broken hearts. In a moment of bravery that would make even Poseidon tear up, Kirk's family released the video of his final wave, not for sensationalism, but as a tribute to his spirit. It wasn't about tragedy, it was about truth. The footage showed not just a fall, but a flight, a man dancing with the sea one last time. It was raw, real, and painfully beautiful. A reminder that greatness often lives right on the edge of risk. And in sharing it, Kirk's family gave the world a glimpse into the soul of someone who didn't just live near the ocean, he belonged to it. The legacy of Kirk Passmore. Kirk Passmore's story is more than a cautionary tale. It's a love letter to the sea, penned in wax, sweat, and salt water. His life reminds us that the ocean is both artist and assassin. It sculpts moments of pure beauty, then tests you with brute force. Kirk didn't surf for fame or Instagram likes. He surfed because the sea was his cathedral, his canvas, his calling. Since his disappearance, surfers around the globe have strapped on flotation vests with a little more urgency and a lot more respect. He became a catalyst for change, proof that courage and caution aren't mutually exclusive. Memorial paddle-outs and tributes still circle the waters he once ruled, from Hawaii to California. His name is spoken not with sadness alone, but with reverence, like a fallen knight who went down in the most noble way, doing what he loved. Kirk didn't just leave behind a board. He left a blueprint for living fully, boldly, and with arms wide open to the unknown. Epilogue: Riding the Eternal Wave. Kirk Passmore may have vanished beneath the roaring Pacific, but make no mistake, his spirit didn't drown, it simply learned to surf eternity. Every time a board slices into a glassy wave at sunrise somewhere, Kirk's nodding with approval, probably saying, "Now that's a clean drop." His story echoes in the salty air, lives in the wax on surfboards, and pulses in the veins of those who chase giants not for glory, but for love. He wasn't just a surfer, he was a water warrior, a poet of motion, a wave whisperer. So if you ever find yourself staring at a massive wave with trembling knees and a heart full of doubt, remember Kirk. Remember the dude from landlocked Utah who charged liquid mountains like they owed him rent. Maybe you'll hear the sea murmuring encouragement, or maybe it's Kirk laughing from the lineup beyond the horizon, waiting for you to paddle out. If this story hit you right in the soul, or made you want to wax up your board and chase something bigger, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more epic tales of ocean legends, wipeouts, and the humans who dare to ride thunder. And hey, ring that bell so you don't miss the next wave. We're just getting started.